Stephanie, are you ready? Can you please download your speaking PowerPoint, speaking strategies PowerPoint? Stephanie?
Yes, Miss, I'm going to download.
Okay, try to download. Okay, today we're going to look at speaking strategies, some exercises that you can do with your students. We have many things to do that you can search on Google. Okay, but here I checked some of the speaking strategies that we can use, and I use with my students too. Remember that good speaking activities should be extremely engaging. You have to engage your student with the speaking. You remember that you already know that you have to realize what is the interest of your student. Engaging activity for a student is the main thing that you have to search. Okay, search. Maybe if you can know the material, you can nowadays there are many things that you can find. If they are all participating fully, and if the teacher has set up the activity properly and can then give sympathetic and useful feedback. Remember that after they practice, after you have them speak, you have to give them the correct feedback. Okay, they will give that a tremendous satisfaction. For example, obviously when you teach grammar, then when they produce that grammar that you have them to write, when they speak, they feel tremendous satisfaction when they notice that they can produce the language. For example, students say a lot of sentences or write a lot of sentences, and when they speak, they feel better, right? Okay, they feel better. Um, Remember that when they are speaking, you are not checking grammar. Okay, you are checking fluently. You are not checking accuracy. Okay, so using a particular piece of grammar or particular function. As with any sequence, however, we may use what happened in that moment. We have to realize, as teacher, we have to realize what happened in that moment. When you are looking at your student, when they are speaking, you have to realize what happened with that student. If they cannot produce the language, or if they are not using the correct grammar. Okay, remember, as I always say my student, the same that you write, the same that you speak, right? That's why I always tell you, please, when you are giving classes to beginners, level 1, 2, 3, have them to write everything that for example, their ideas that they have, that for example, if you elicit a certain grammar, have them to write, because they have to put the ideas in order. Level 1, 2, 3, they have to put the ideas in order. Okay, and then they can produce the language in advanced levels or intermediate levels, right? So you have to realize what happened in that activity. There are many reasons for getting a student to speak in the classroom. Okay, and remember, don't there are many teachers or traditional teachers or traditional academies that they have, for example, speaking at the end of the course, at the end of the program. Okay, the academy or the center in which you are giving classes, for example, in my case, I I'm working in one of the cars. It's good that that program and in speaking, for example. Okay, but remember that you have them to speak from the beginning. Okay, don't think that, oh, it's beginner. They are beginners. My students are beginners. Have them to speak at least a small sentences or short sentences. Okay, there are many reasons for getting a student to speak in the classroom. First is that for example, you have to create tasks in which activities in which a student try to use any or all of the language they know. Try to provide feedback, as I told you. Everyone can see how well they are doing. You can see how well they are doing. Okay, for example, Ryan says that told us that he had a student that he didn't produce the languages because maybe they couldn't complete uh, his program correctly. The first courses, right? Maybe course 1, 2, or 3. Maybe his teacher that didn't have them to produce a correct grammar. Okay, they are also, you can realize when they are speaking the problems that your student have when they are speaking. Okay, the more the student have opportunity to activate various elements of language, they have stored in their brains the everything that you have taught for them. Okay, the more automatic their use of these sentences become better. They become better, right? So that's why, for example, you have to maybe you have to make this kind of exercise when you, for example, you are practicing WH question. Ask them over and over again the same questions. Okay, the same questions in order that they don't translate. Okay, you can realize when your students are translated. Okay, right? When your students when you hi Gabby, hi Isabel. Okay,
Good evening.
hi, good evening. Today we're going to look at the speaking strategies, some exercises that you can do it with your students. The thing is, when as teacher, we can realize when your students are untranslated. I don't know if that's happened to you, Stephanie, Brian, Maria. You notice when your students are translated, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's something that I don't know how to explain, but I you feel when they are translated because it's
in my
they are
case,
using,
in
yeah,
my
they are
case,
using,
in my
yeah,
case, my
Brian,
students translate literally everything that they read. It's
yeah.
something funny because they try to understand something, but when they translate literally the things that they try to translate, they get some confused. And I try to tell them that not translate literally, but something similar idea for to get the idea.
Mm-hmm. For example, when they are learning present tense, for example, I have them to make sentences, and they think that is the same in Spanish. El lunes voy a jugar fútbol. So everything I hate when when they put he go for example, I go to play, I go to eat, I everything with go because they think that it's the same in Spanish. And I always correct that part. Go, omit go. I eat, I drink. Okay, when you are explaining present tense, for example, they put go because it's the same. Voy a jugar, el lunes voy a jugar, el lunes voy a comer, o sea, cosas así, ¿no? Okay, so this means that they will be able to use words and phrases fluently, right? Fluently. So you have to ask, maybe you have to practice with them and ask the questions over and over again, okay? And they become much conscious, right, in their thoughts, okay? So here we're going to read some of the examples that you can, some of the of games that you can do with your students. Okay, a concept star. Okay, concept star. A concept star is a type of graphic organizer that can be used as a pre-reading activity to encourage prediction skill and build vocabulary. It can be used effectively when students are reading a text beyond their ability to understand completely. The teacher select 2 or 3 paragraphs. Okay, for example, you have a reading. You select 2 or 3 paragraphs that contains an especially large amount of new vocabulary. 5 categories are chosen for each of the point on the start. Students sort words from the paragraph into these semantic categories using prior knowledge, context clues, and prediction skills. This can be done first an individual activity and then in pairs, and you can ask them to do this activity individually. You can vary this activity. The benefit of a concept star encourages readers to be willing and accurate guessers and to tolerate ambiguity. Can be used as before and after activity with a student revising their concept star after they have read the complete passage and have teacher peer input. So you can do this activity. You can change some things of this activity. I'm gonna show you this is a kind of worksheet that you can use. Reading, writing, so you can have them to write the meaning of the vocabulary. So then write your favorite words along with their meaning below. Okay, so obviously you have to show them or elicit from on the projector the paragraph. The teacher select 2 or 3 paragraphs that contain an essentially large amount of new vocabulary. 5 categories are chosen for each of the point on the start. Okay. For example, if the reading is about fruit or healthy fruit, okay, so you can have them to categorize the vocabulary, right? A student sort words from the paragraph into these semantic categories. In this case, it's like semantic, but you can do it in different way, right? Context clues and prediction skills. Okay, here you have the worksheet that you can use. So there are many worksheets that you can search on from internet. You can get from internet. Okay, do you understand this part?
Yes.
Okay, so you can do it in different way. You can have them to separate the words and write the meaning of the word. You can do. So here you have find W, WS and H. Okay, So could you please, Brian, could you please read this activity?
Yeah, find the WS and H. The five WS, what, when, where, why, who, plus an H, how, a strategy, can be used in a variety of ways. It is often used to help the students summarize an article they read. It also helps them to organize their thinking, and it can lead the students to use a range of questions types independently. It is also relevant to writing in a newspaper article or a report. The five WWS, what, when, where, why, who, plus an H, how, provide a strategy that is often used in news reporting in order to provide the audience with a quick overview of an event. It generally involves the followings. What happened? When did it happen? Where did it happen? Why did it happen? Who was involved, and how did it happen?
Yeah, it's easy. You can make this as a worksheet. You can do this in Excel, and you can make this worksheet by your own. You can put pictures. Obviously, you have to give when you are you're going to talk about a topic when you want to introduce a topic. Obviously, you can show the slices or PowerPoint with the reading on the projector, and after that, you can give the 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 worksheet with these questions, right? So, what happened? When did it happen? Where? It's very important that you are in not only high school, you can start introducing the WH question from second grade or third grade. Okay, you can teach with short questions. Okay, I taught third grade and I practice a lot. What, when, where, a why question. Who? With a short question. Who is your teacher? Who is your father? Okay, they are a small questions, short questions, right? So you can. When is your birthday? Okay, so you can practice this with your students at school too. Okay, it's not necessary that you are in seventh grade or eighth grade. You can practice in third grade too. The benefit of five W and H question, Brian, continue.
The benefits of 5WS and H. Number one, a useful strategy to help students to summarize an article they read. Number two, Number two, helps students to organize their thinking. Number three, can lead the students to use a range of questions types independently.
Help a student to organize their thinking. Okay. When you are teaching beginners, intermediate, have them to put the ideas in order. Okay. Give them time. Developing high level question. Here we have the same exercise, the same activity, but with high level questions. Okay, Brian, could you please read?
Continue the reading.
But this is the same game, but you can do this with teenagers with intermediate levels or high levels.
Okay. Developing high other question is a variation of 5WS and H strategy in which students in a small group roll either one or two dice.
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 Like
Okay, dice. Dice and form a question for the group to answer. On one cube, write a question started on each side. For example, how, where, what, why, when, who. On the other cube, write a modal verb such as might, would, should, could, can, may, will, using the teacher provided topic or text. Students within each group take turns to roll the first dice and use the starters to form factual questions. Alternatively, it can be made more difficult by requiring the students to roll both dice and to ask a question using both the questions starter and the modal verb, e.g., how could or who should.
Mhm. It's easy. You can bring it to your class a big die, right? And put the paste the questions: what, why, when, who. And according to your unit, according to the unit that you are teaching, you have them to ask the question. And is funnier that maybe give them a worksheet. Okay, you can create, you can like a project. You can have in your classroom these dice, okay, and put the WH questions in order that they can use roll the die and they can use the modals verbs. Okay, do you like this? Have you done this before? Or maybe we have heard, but we don't practice. We
First time
don't,
that it's the first time that I heard that kind of exercise. It
yeah,
sounds interesting to put in
yeah.
practice.
You can practice. I have heard this exercise, but maybe because of the time, because teacher, we sometimes we have a lot of things to do, and we are creative, okay, but sometimes we don't have time to do many things for them, right?
With the teenagers, we work with the New York Times because my coordinator always receive the New York Times, and the students have to look in, for example, in an article of the newspaper, they have to try to answer that kind of question. How did it happen as the square that was in the last diapositiva?
Mhm.
They look for the information in that kind of answers or that were in the article. So in that
Yeah,
part, students, I
yeah.
made them work in that part.
Yeah, you can do this. You can use these dice or in the activity, in every activity that you can do with your student, because if you have intermediate student, you can use these modal verbs, okay, in order that they can practice. Or you can use this too, because you you say that you use articles, right? You work with articles. You can use this. You can make the worksheet by your own and put this, write this WH question for them. So you can work this as a routines. Remember that the students work with routines. For example, Brian, if you have the routine that they have their reading class, and they obviously they have to read an article, you can give in each article, you can give the WH question, but you have to vary some things because they get bored if you do the same. But try to do it many things, but you can do it in a funny way. Okay, you can do the dice too. Now we have here model this activity with the class first. Remember that we have to model, okay? We have to model. If they don't understand your instructions, you can pick up one of your students Select one of them and you can model with your student. What are you going to do? What are you going to play with them? Model this activity with the class first. Put the student into small groups. You will need to make 2 cubes for each group of a student. One cube, write a question started on each side. For example, how, where, what, why, when. On the other cube, write modal verbs such as might, will, should, could, can, may, and will. Okay, so in one cube, you're going to put the question, another cube, you're going to put models in order that the other group can answer and use the modal verbs. Okay. Using some of the brainstorm topics, a student within each group take turns to roll the first dice and use the STAR test to form factual questions. How, where, what, and why. Okay? So you can change or you can use, obviously you're going to use with your topic. Okay? A student then rolled the 2 dice and used the modal verbs to lift the level of the question. Why will, okay, and then the question. Disappearing definition and vanishing clause. Could you please, Gabby, could you please read this activity? Disappearing definition and vanishing clause. Gabby, are you there? Viviana, can you please read disappearing definition and vanishing clause?
Okay. Disappearing definition and vanishing clause. These strategies are useful for noticing correct grammar and for modeling texts. They are best used with key definitions or key ideas that are essential to the unit of work being studied. Everything? Or
Yes, disappearing definition.
okay. Disappearing definition. Write an important piece of text or definition on the whiteboard. The teacher reads the definition to the students. The students chorus the text back. The teacher raps out every 7th word and a student reads out the text including the missing word. The teacher raps out every 7th word. A student reads out the entire text. The teacher continues rapping out until there is no text on the board. The students then write the text into their books from memory.
You understand this part? The student first write a paragraph. Okay, maybe you can use with short paragraph, 10 lines, maybe 10 lines. Write in this part is write an important piece of text or definition. Yeah, text or definition. Okay, so maybe 10 lines on the board. Then the teacher erase or rubs out certain words. Maybe in that part say 7. Maybe you can, according to the level that you think that your student have, obviously, you can erase maybe 3 or 4 words in that test, right? In order that they can, you ask them to read again. Obviously, include, try to say the word that I erased, right? That I eliminated. You can, okay, say again, read again the paragraph, but I eliminate 2 or 3 words here. Try to remember what are the words and read the paragraph with the words that I eliminate. And then you can continue eliminating the words in order that they can remember, they can repeat the entire paragraph again. Okay, so then at the end you have them to write, and you have eliminated a lot of words, right? That is an exercise that they can, you can ask them, maybe you can pick up, you can choose one of them. Okay, don't do this exercise currently, right? Or maybe currently, or try to make like a competition. Okay, so group A, group B. Okay, who have to remember, who have to do it, who have to read, who wants to read this paragraph well? Who remember the words that I eliminate? Okay, you understand this exercise? Isabel, Brian, it is clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, you can change certain things, right? You can write a paragraph, a definition. Okay, and at the end you have eliminated a lot of, maybe 7 words in the paragraph. I have them to rewrite, and you rewrite the paragraph, but you have them speak, because they are reading the paragraph, but they have to say, oh, that is the word that the teacher have eliminated. Okay, you are you have them speak. Okay, I'm going to pass this exercise, sorry, I'm going to send by Zoom chat, because I want you to watch. This is an exercise that you can do with your students, okay? I found this exercise for you. Okay, I'm going to show you, but if you have problems, I'm gonna send it. Okay. To send me. This is the coding game in which you can have them to speak. That is for beginners. Okay, I'm going to show the audio too. Okay,
Shoes. Good guess. Shoes. What does shoes begin with? Shh. What 2 letters say shh? S-H. Good. Shoes. Victor, do you have a guess?
A hat.
A hat. Okay, my mom will be so mad that I got dirt on my new hat. Can you spell it for me?
H-A-T.
H-A-T. All right. Do we have any other guesses? Giselle?
Scarf.
Scarf. All right. What does scarf start with? S. Scarf. What's at the end of scarf? F. Very good. All right. Does that make sense? My mom will be so mad that I got dirt on my new scarf. You could get dirt on your scarf, couldn't you? Levi, did you have any ideas?
No.
No? Victor?
Underwear.
You get dirt on your underwear? Oh dear, you must have gotten really messy. Underwear.
Oh, it's too big.
Do you think it's too big? Look at that. There's underwear. There's our covered word.
No.
We have to eliminate that one right away, don't we? Underwear will not work. Any other ideas before we compare the sizes? Victor?
A ring.
On my new ring, let's talk about that. My mom will be so mad that I got dirt on my new ring. That one's kind of silly, isn't it? Does that make sense?
No.
No, I don't think we'll put ring down. All right, let's go through. Shoes.
No.
Is it about the right length?
No. Yeah. Yes.
I think it could be shoes. What about hat?
No. No.
Mm.
Yeah. No. No.
Is hat smaller than shoes?
No. Yeah.
There's two more letters in shoes. So I think hat would be too what?
Short.
Too short. How about scarf?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Scarf looks like it could fit. And we already determined underwear would not work. So let's uncover the first letter.
P.
P.
Ooh,
Could it be shoes?
No.
Why not?
Because it starts with a P.
Shoe starts with S and our word starts with P. Giselle, could it be scarf?
No.
Why not?
Because it starts with
Did you watch the exercise? Did you like that exercise? That game, sorry, that activity, the coding.
Yeah, but can you do that with teens? And
Sorry?
how would you apply it? Can you do
Okay.
that with teens?
Yeah, but according to the level. Okay. For example, that is how introduce vocabulary and speaking too. For example, the sentences, obviously the sentences are according to the beginners, because they are beginners and they are kids. So you can give them a list of list of words that you have in the unit. That is a good way to teach the meaning of words. Okay, so you elicit 5 sentences. For example, if you have five words that you can that you have to teach to your students, have them give them a list of words, a worksheet, maybe with pictures, I don't know, and elicit sentences, write sentences, and you can make the list in order that they can you can give them clues, right? You read the sentences and you say, oh, that is, this word can go here in this sentence. Are you sure? Right? You can do that with teenagers too, with intermediate. Okay, obviously with intermediate, maybe you cannot use words. If you can, sorry, pictures. If you can use pictures, it's better, right? But you can do this activity with intermediates. What do you think, Gabriela, Brian, Stephanie, about this? We can change the some things in the game, right? In the coding. Viviana, have you watched the video? Did you watch the video? Isabel? Viviana, you there? Brian? Or are you watching? Because I sent the video. I sent the video through Zoom chat. Stephanie?
I'm watching.
Okay. Brian, Gabriela, can you explain me that decoding? How can you apply with your student this decoding game? For example, in your case, with your students. Dear students, are you there? Or are you watching?
I am here.
Okay,
Yes, teacher, I'm here.
are you watching? Are
thinking-
you watching?
Yes.
I already
um,
finished watching.
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe it's possible to use in the class with the verbs, maybe.
Yeah, with verbs, obviously. You can use, for example, you can give them a worksheet with verbs, okay? Because you notice that the kids have a tablet, right? But if you don't have a tablet, if they don't have a tablet, you can an iPod, so you can give them a worksheet with verbs, a list of verbs, and you elicit some sentences, and you have them to put the correct verb. For example, you can put I space blank meat. And what is the correct verb for that? Okay, spaghetti. So you have a list of verbs with eat, drink. It's eat. Eat means eat. I have to complete with eat. Yeah, eat the spaghetti, right? I'm going to be another, sorry. I'm going to show you another example. That was the coding, That was the coding, and here we go. Okay, and okay, this is close.
Hey! Are you ready for a close activity?
Yes!
What is a close? A close is a text. And words are missing. Words are missing. How many words are missing? How many words? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6, 7, 8, 9.
9 words are missing, okay? Let's read the text together, okay? Little by little. Tea time is a
Tea time is a
in the
in the
What word could go here? Tea time is a hotel?
no
No. Tea time is
a game.
so you say, I think I know.
I think I know.
You see?
Tea time is a game.
No, sorry. Tea time is a Ellie?
Oh,
I-
I think tea time is a time.
Yes! Tea time is a time
Tea time is a time.
in the...
I think I know. In the United Kingdom.
Ah, tea time is a time in the United Kingdom?
Yes.
Yes, excellent. Okay, let's read together, okay? Tea time is a time in the United Kingdom where people eat sandwiches and scones. Eat sandwiches and scones.
I think it's sandwiches and cakes.
Cakes. Ah, do you agree?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, let's read. Where people eat sandwiches, cakes, and scones. Yeah, that works. Okay, let's continue. And they drink tourist?
No.
No, you can't drink tourist. That doesn't exist. They drink,
I think I know.
Ah,
They drink tea.
yes, exactly. Okay, let's read again. Where people eat sandwiches, cakes, and scones, and they drink tea. Tea. Okay. Traditionally, people play two. Traditionally, people play two. What is it? I think I know.
Yes. I think I know.
Ah.
People play games.
Ah, people play games. Excellent. Okay, let's repeat the sentence together, okay? Traditionally, people play games. Okay, two. Sorry. Okay, now, when you do a close activity, there's a lot of things you can do. So, take advantage of the fact that you keep on repeating the sentences and have students read with you at the same time, because the more and more you read it, the more and more they will know the text and they will understand the text, okay? Don't hesitate to yourself make weird mistakes so they really can eliminate things that don't work, okay? And you can do a close with a lot of different text. Even with really small kids, a really simple text works great. And this works with adults, teens, anyone. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Okay, do you like this close activity that I found for you?
Yeah, it's like to
Yes,
make the
teacher.
students
It's
find
good.
the sense in a reading on the reading part, and they make them practice the speaking to order their ideas.
Yeah, that is an activity that you, for example, you have the a reading, for example, you can put on the, you can listen a short paragraph from the unit, because sometimes, oh, I have this paragraph, how I can introduce, or how I can introduce this reading or this speaking time. You can start with this game. You can start with this game, right? And then you can start, you can continue with the page, with the unit, with the page that you are going to teach. Okay, this is a fun and it's engaging too. So it's very engaging. Okay, Isabel, did you like that activity? Stephanie, Viviana?
Yes, absolutely. I'm working with a simple present tense, using the sequence words. To 10th grade, when I'm using the clause of time or the time expression of the past, I give them the text, but apart I write the time expression to the students go to organize the text or the reading. That's
You got
nice and nice work. I love it.
You love it. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's see another that I found. Just along. Close. Okay, so let's continue with this. Next week we can show you, we can see more many exercises or games. Vanishing clothes. Could you please, Stephanie, could you please read vanishing clothes?
Yes. Vanishing clothes. Construct a story of 5 to 7 sentences on the board with the students. Base the story on a topic they are currently studying. The story must be grammatically correct and use noun vocabulary correctly. Students read the whole text aloud from the board. Then you write out every fifth word. The students read again and say the missing word, wrap out every fifth word again and have students read and supply the missing word. Continue in this way until the whole text has been wrapped out and the students can recite it or until they are unable to supply any more words.
Supply any more words. This is similar, right, Brian? It's similar to another one, right? It's similar. You have to write the paragraph and delete some words in order that your students can repeat the paragraph with the words that you have eliminated, right? Continue this way until the whole text has been wrapped out and the student can recite it off until they are unable to supply more words. Or maybe you can change the instead when you eliminate the word or rub out the word, you can ask them for a synonym, right? A word that replaces the word that you have eliminated. You can change that dynamic of the game. You understand? For example, if you eliminate a word of the paragraph or three or 5 words, you maybe, if you are learning synonyms, you can, which word can I put here, for example? You can ask them to do that, okay? You understand this? Do you understand this vanishing clause? Did the students?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me know if something is obvious. Think, pair, share. Think, pair, share. Could you please, Viviana, do you have microphone? No?
She has a problem with the microphone.
Yeah, I remember. Maria, could you please read? Think, pair, and share.
For sure. It says, think for pair share is a way of providing increased wait time so that students have time to think before they speak or write. It provides opportunities for repetition and for practicing and polishing language. This strategy is very easy to use and takes no preparation, and it can be used across all learning areas. The students first work individually writing down their ideas. Next, they share their ideas with a partner and then with a larger group or whole class. It is important that students need to be able to share their partner's ideas as well as their own. The wait or think time that is part of
think pressure has been demonstrated to be a powerful factor in improving students' responses to questions.
What do you think about this? Think, pair, and share. This is something that I do in my classes. For example, if I provide my student five or six questions, right? And they write first the ideas, answer my question, and then I have them to practice. I have them speak. Okay. I give you time. I give you time to prepare the things that they are going to say, right? They're going to speak. So that is something that you have to do with your student. Have them time to prepare what are they going to do. Think per shares way, provide an increased wait time so that the student have time to think before they speak or write. You can do this. You can, for example, you say, please write about typical food if you are at intermediate. Write about typical food in your country. So provide questions in order that they can answer. Give them time to write, and then you can give the instruction. Please talk about this topic with your partner, and then when I clap, you're going to find another friend, and when I clap again, find another friend and talk about this topic with your class. Okay, that is think, pair, and share. Continue, please, Maria. It's the same dynamic. Rewrite.
Okay. It says rewrite a known story or account. Place each sentence of the story on a strip of card or paper. Mix the strip and distribute them to the students. Each student read out a strip and the whole class or group then discusses and works out how the strips should be assembled to form the correct sequence of
Stop,
the
Mary, stop. Sorry, there is something that, okay, there is something happened in my slide. This is another game, Maria, Isabel, and Gabriela. This game, sorry, this game, I'm going to correct this PowerPoint. This game is called a strip story. Yeah, strip story. So now this is another activity, okay? It is clear, this is another activity. Something happened with my PowerPoint. I have to put a strip story. Okay, Mary, read again. Rewrite a no story.
Already say rewrite a known story or account. Place each sentence of the story on a strip or card of paper. Mix the strips and distribute them to the students. Each student reads out their strip and the whole class or group then discusses and works out how the strips should be assembled to form the correct sequence of the story. This can be varied by asking the students to memorize the sentence on their strips and then telling their sentence to the rest of the group. The students must now rearrange themselves rather than the strips to reassemble the story or account.
Yeah, thank you. The thing is that this game, for example, this is an example of a short story that you can cut. You can cut each section, each part. You can cut, and you can distribute these papers, small papers per group, right? And they have them to put in order the story, right? put in order the story, but you have to give them this this instruction, words that they have to say when they are putting in order the sentence. I think my comes first because every student have the paper, right? Every student have the paper. For example, this is my paper. A student have the paper, other student have papers. They have to put in order. Every group have to put, you have to give the, for example, this, suppose that you are you're given these papers, it's a short story or depends. You can do this activity with high levels too, but obviously the story contains another kind of vocabulary, right? According to the unit that you have. So that is the vocabulary that you have to encourage your student to say when they are working, when they are constructing the story. I think mine comes first. I think Joseph one is first. I agree because I think so because I disagree because I don't think that these sentences go here or go there, right? We should listen to it now. Does it sounds right? Does it sound right? Sounds right. Do we need to change anything? So you have to encourage a student to use these phrases when they are working. Okay? Who's got the next one? Who's got the next one, right? Okay? Do you like this activity? You understand? Is that they have to put in order. This is a strip story. Okay? Gabby? Stefania? Are you going to practice this speaking activity with your student? Knock, knock. Do you understand this activity?
Yeah.
Brian, do you understand? Stephanie?
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah? You understand how to do this activity? You can do the story by your own. You can, it's not necessary that you have to find or search on Google the story. You can use the story from your book and you can type. Okay? How to use speaking frames. Okay? Isabel, please, how to use speaking frames. Read, please. Isabel?
Yes, teacher, I'm sorry. How to use speaking frames? Establish the response you expect the students to make. Model this with the students and discuss them. Write out sentence starters to act as a speaking frame. You may also include a small word bank. You may need to create more than one of these frames, each one offering different levels of support.
The benefit of using speaking frames.
It helps to set the criteria for effective responses, reduce vague language, encourage precise and concise language.
Okay. Here you have a speaking frames. That is another activity. Speaking frames are a type of sentence frame that provides sentence starters and models for English language learners who may not have sufficient knowledge of standard sentence structure to be able to create sentences independently. They are a support which should gradually be withdrawn. So this is for maybe this exercise, this dynamic gonna help you to for beginners, right? For example, when they have a disorder in their brains. So subject, verbs, and complement. Subject, verbs, and complement. If they don't understand, you can have them, you write a sentence or you write a list of sentences, and in the other side of the board, you can put the vocabulary too. You can elicit a vocabulary from your book, and it's different, right? Put the vocabulary on another side of your board, and another side you're going to write sentences like this, like the, live, in a, right? That is and then you have them to speak. Okay, maybe it's not necessary that first you have them to speak, right? Miss, I think it's the dog live in a house. But you have them to speak. That is for beginners too. That is a beginner activity. Is this activity for beginners or you can change? You can make a variation of this exercise. Maria, what do you think? Stephanie, Isabel, Viviana, Gabi.
I think you can make it a little bit more complicated each time. You can work with.
Why complicated? Why? Why do you think this exercise is complicated?
I mean, like, easy for the ones that are starting, a little bit more difficult for the ones that are in the intermediate level, and more difficult for the ones that are in the advanced level. You can modify them to do like a little harder, I guess.
Harder? I think, for example, these sentences is for beginners, for example. A beginner student can complete this. A beginner, but maybe could be different, could be difficult for a person who start and a person who doesn't know anything. Like he, como les decía que era una alumna mía que he, o sea, en vez de I, o sea, nunca en su vida había visto inglés. O sea, para ese sí podría ser difícil porque no saben ni la estructura, ¿verdad? Es for a student who students who don't know the structure, but this could be easy for beginners. For beginners, or you can change the kind of sentences that is present. Complete. This is present tense, but you can use this activity with the intermediate according to your grammar. You can do that. What do you think, Brian, about this? For example, for your students, which student do you have? Beginners, advanced, intermediate. You have intermediate, right, Brian? How can you change this? How can you change, for example, this exercise? Because this is for beginners, right? The sentence. But the activity, you can make variation with this activity.
Yeah, this kind of activities is taking in based of the learning of vocabulary, when the student have to prove in sentences what to give a sense to the according to the words that goes with the sentences. In that case, I use it in students for first course, like octavo grado, and in that cases, but it's in second grade and in third grade too. But it depends on the level of complex of the vocabulary that we're going to apply.
Why Maria said that this is difficult?
No, lo que yo decía es que se lo puede hacer más difícil o más complicado a raíz de que los alumnos suban de nivel.
Claro.
Fue lo que dije, que estaba complicado.
Yo te entendí. Claro.
No sé, es que es lo mismo, sí. Ajá.
Claro, pero por ejemplo, para para que los que no, o sea, completamente si le pones a uno que recién llegó y recién va a entrar a uno, no le puedes poner ese juego aún, porque no sabe nada, pues, ¿no? Entonces, ahí sí tendrían que primero, o sea, comenzar, ¿no? Comenzar con lo que ellos tienen que aprender, lo básico y todo eso.
Ya, Juan, ¿en qué tipo por ejemplo, niveles de séptimo? Porque yo doy de séptimo hasta tercero de bachillerato. ¿Cómo podría yo introducir, presentarles ya a los chicos, perdón, de ese tipo de ejercicios a estudiantes de séptimo grado? De
Es que ya
base.
lo puedes hacer, porque
No se
o sea,
puede.
claro, o sea, también puedes, a ver, si por ejemplo no están acostumbrados a juegos, ya a lo mejor qué sé yo, te faltan que los actives más con juegos y todo eso, quizás le puedes presentar esto como para que sepan lo que tienen que hacer y ya le va subiendo en otras clases, otras oraciones, con otros grammar, ¿verdad? Y ahí te van diciendo qué es lo que tienen que completar. Porque séptimo sí puede hacer este ejercicio. ¿A eso te referías?
Sí, más o menos es a eso, porque es que los chicos, o sea, las clases que le doy, yo siempre trato como que de enfocarlos un poquito más a una visión de lo que van a ver el próximo curso. O sea, no es que me pierdo con el material del año que tienen, del año presente, sino que trato como de enfocar esos ejercicios para un nivel un poquito más. O sea, como que exigirles más, porque si los voy a tener limitados al nivel que están, pues el próximo año se van a topar con una situación difícil y conmigo ellos, al menos en mi caso, yo con los más básicos, niveles básicos, yo sí soy como un poquito más flexible, pero con los niveles superiores es como que dejar pasar ese tipo de cosas, ya es como que no me cuadra ahí, porque los chicos ya deberían formular o producir el inglés, como por decirlo así.
Mm-hmm. I think that every group of teachers in a high school have to maintain the same methodology. If all the teachers have the same methodology, obviously every teacher have its essence, right? But if all the teachers in the teacher staff have the same methodology, okay, remember you have to make games at the beginning of the class, your motivation. Because, for example, if you receive your students at the beginning of the year and you make a game and the students are surprised, oh, what are we gonna do? Because they don't have they haven't they have that part of the class, right? You understand? So maybe you can talk with your co-workers and have a meeting and say that to they have to present the classes with many activities because their students have to be engaged. Okay, that's something that they going to that's gonna help to produce the language. Okay, speaking activities. I don't know how your schools teach English. Maybe they are a school that they are the English are separated by skills. For example, I taught English. For example, the first day I gave grammar. The second day, Tuesday, reading. The third day of the week, vocabulary. So, but it's too hard for the teacher when the English is separated by skill. But the thing is that you have to demonstrate that you are a good teacher. You have to be a facilitator. You have to be a facilitator. Give your student the tools to produce the language. Don't give them the tools. Don't elicit the words, elicit the exercise that you have your student produce. Okay, so from in the internet you can search a lot of exercises that you can do with your students. Okay, so what is the exercise, the dynamic that you like the most in this? There are many, right? But what is the exercise that you're going to practice? Obviously, you're going to practice with your student all of this dynamic. But what do you like the most?
I like the one that you have like to divide the strip story because there is a lot of interaction involved.
A lot of interaction. Brian, what do you like the most?
I like it all. Es que son como nuevas estrategias que me están llegando, entonces son como para tener en cuenta y aplicarlas en clases.
Okay, but what do you like the most? Vanishing clause?
Close. Close was the...
disappearing definition?
No, close. That was I like it most.
Vanishing clause, okay, in which you erase the words. Isabel, what do you like the most? What exercise? What?
I think so. I think so. The same that say Brian.
When you have to elicit a paragraph and you have them to remember the words, so they have to repeat the entire paragraph.
Right. Yes.
With the word that you have raised.
Yeah, I like that because the students can practice the vocabulary. Also, they can apply the learning of the new language.
Good. Gabriela, which exercise do you like the most? Which dynamic? Which dynamic do you like the most? Gabriela or Stephanie? Which dynamic did you like the most?
In my case, vanish clause, because in that part, the student can develop their imagination and create stories, and also participate all the students in the same activity.
The same activity. Do you like the strip? This dynamic is called, I have to put here, I'm going to correct this story, strip story. Okay? Okay, this is the first part of this class, and after the break, we're going to make an activity, a worksheet. We're going to resolve a worksheet that I prepared for you. Okay? Or you have 15 minutes. 15 minutes, dear students, okay?
Okay, teacher, thank you.